Today's lesson is about mag-verbs. Using the whiteboard, I am going to teach you how to form mag-verbs in the different tenses or aspects of completion. Hi, I'm Christine. Welcome to my channel, Learn to Speak Filipino. Mag-verbs. The affix mag is the most versatile of all the affixes that we use with verbs. Now, how do we form mag-verbs to show the different tenses or aspects of completion? First, how do we form the infinitive or the most basic form of the verb with a mag? So what do? You put the mag as a prefix and then you add or you attach it to the verb root. Alright, so to form the infinitive, you make mag a prefix and then you attach mag as the prefix to the entire verb root. So, for example, if I'm going to use the verb root aral, what does aral mean? Study. Okay, so if I'm going to put the verb root or use the verb root aral, okay, let's first form the infinitive by adding the prefix mag and then to the verb root aral. Okay, just a point. Aral, the verb root, began with a vowel. So when we form the infinitive, we have to write or we have to include a hyphen or a dash. So the infinitive form of the verb aral is mag-aral. Mag-aral. Can you pronounce it for me? Mag-aral. Another example, this time the verb root begins with a consonant. Okay. So let's try the verb root bayad. Do you remember what bayad means? Okay, bayad means pay. Okay. So bayad is also a mag verb. So again, let's form the infinitive by making mag a prefix. So mag, we add to the verb root. So mag, we add to the verb root. So the infinitive becomes magbayad. Can you pronounce it for me? Magbayad. To pay. Magbayad. So let's move on to how to form the past or completed action. Now, going back to the infinitive of the verb root aral, which is mag-aral, okay, let us try to form the completed action, or in Filipino, we call perpektibo or perfect completed aspect. When we form the past tense in English or the completed action in Filipino, what we do is we change the M, okay, we change the consonant M of the prefix mag, we change it to N. Okay. So the prefix mag then becomes nag. Okay. Nag, and then I just copy the entire verb root. So again, aral is a verb root that begins with a vowel. So I need to put a hyphen. So to change the form from infinitive to past, I change M to N. Okay, so mag becomes nag, and then I attach the verb root. So this becomes studied. Nag-aral. Nag-aral. Studied. So this is completed action, or in English, if it means studied, this is the past tense form. So, nag-aral. Let's move on to the other example, which is bayad. So again, I will change it first. Okay, let's recall the infinitive, which is mag, adding the root bayad, okay, which means to pay. And then we change to form the past or completed action. We change the M of the mag to nag. Okay. So mag becomes nag, and then we attach the entire verb root. Notice that there is no hyphen or dash because the verb root bayad began or begins with a consonant. So the past form is nagbayad. Nagbayad. That means paid. Nagbayad means paid. So we have formed for the verb root or verb aral, which is to study. We have already formed the infinitive, which is mag-aral. Okay. And for the verb root bayad, we already formed the infinitive magbayad. Then we change the M to N. So the prefix mag becomes nag, and then we attach the whole verb root, nag-aral, which means studied. And then for magbayad, we changed again the M to N, and then it became nagbayad, which means paid. Now, let us then form the ongoing action and the habitual or everyday action. Let me just emphasize that in Filipino, the habitual everyday action and the ongoing action or happening now have the same form. So I will repeat that. The ongoing action, ing form in English, and the everyday action, S form, present tense in English, okay, they both have only one form in Filipino. Okay, now, your skill in syllabicating will come in handy when we form the present and the ongoing action. Why is that? Because we need to retain the nag. Okay? Let me just get another color. Okay, so here's the color blue. So we retain the nag. Okay? So there's your nag. Okay? Then we need to syllabicate the root, meaning divide the root. Okay? So the root aral, we need to divide it into two. So syllabicate a and then ral. In Filipino, a vowel could also be a syllable. Okay, so a single vowel, because it has one sound, could also be a syllable. So here we have two syllables, aral, a and ral. What you do to form the progressive, ongoing action, and everyday action, present tense, S form, is to repeat the first syllable. In this case, aral, that's a. Okay. Okay. And then I will add the whole root. So studying or studies, the present and the present progressive or ongoing action, okay, have the same form in Filipino, which is nag-aaral. So studies and studying in Filipino, you will use nag-aaral. Can you say it for me? Nag-aaral. So studies and studying in Filipino, you say nag-aaral. So let's do the same for your verb root bayad. Okay. So what we're going to do is we will retain the N. So it's nag, we retain the nag. And then we syllabicate the verb root. Okay, so the verb root is bayad. If we're going to syllabicate or divide it into two, it will become bayad. So, as I have said, for aral, okay, with your nag prefix, you add the first syllable of the root, and then you attach the whole root. So, it reads nagbabayad. Nagbabayad. So, pays or paying in English is nagbabayad. Nagbabayad in Filipino. Alright, so I simply changed the M to N. So the prefix mag became nag. I used the first syllable of the root, and then I added the entire root. Now let's move on to the future tense, or in Filipino, we call it the contemplative aspect. Okay. So we go back to mag. Okay. So we go back to the prefix mag. Okay. Let me copy it here. Mag. Okay. And then, like in the present everyday action or progressive, we repeat the first syllable. Okay? And then, so it becomes mag-a, and then attach the whole root. So, will study is mag-aaral. Will study is mag-aaral. Mag-aaral. Now, because this is a verb root that begins with a vowel, let's try to form the future or contemplative aspect of the verb root bayad. So again, we go back to using the mag prefix for your present and ongoing action. We use the first syllable, and then we attach the whole root. So, magbabayad, will pay. Magbabayad, will pay. Just to recap, I gave you two examples of verb roots, one beginning with the vowel and the other beginning with a consonant. So the one beginning with a vowel is aral. So the infinitive is mag-aral. Mag-aral, which means to study. So to form the past or the completed action of to study or mag-aral, we change the M to N. So your prefix mag becomes nag, and then we attach the whole root. So this is your studied. This is your studied. Okay, this is your past form, or in Filipino, in the perfect aspect. Now, for your S form, present tense, or ongoing action, you retain your nag prefix. You repeat the first syllable of the root, and then you attach the whole root. So, nag-aaral. Nag-aaral is studies or studying. Nag-aaral is studies or studying. Nag-aaral. Now, when you want the future tense in English, or you say contemplative in Filipino, then you go back to your mag, like in your infinitive, but you repeat the first syllable of the root, which here is a vowel, and then you attach the whole root. Mag-aaral. Mag-aaral is the future form, or you say will study. So, mag-aral, nag-aral, nag-aaral, and mag-aaral. Let's move on to recap the example of the verb root bayad, which begins with the consonant. Now, we have our verb root that begins with the consonant, and it's magbayad. Magbayad, which is to pay. If you answered to pay, then you're correct. So, to pay. So, how do we say paid? How do we say paid? In Filipino, you change the M to N. So, your mag prefix becomes nag, and you attach the whole root. So, it's nagbayad. Paid. So, nagbayad is paid. Nagbabayad is pays or paying now. So you say nag, you retain your prefix nag, you change the M to N, and then you repeat the first syllable of the root and then attach the whole root. So you say nagbabayad. There's a space, but that's the whole word. Nagbabayad. Okay, so this one is your pays or paying. Okay. Now, we have the last one. When you form the future or the contemplative aspect in Filipino, we go back to your mag. Okay, so it used to be, for the first two, you change M to N. For your future, we go back to M. So the prefix mag. But we repeat the first syllable of the root and then attach the whole root. Magbabayad. Magbabayad. This is the future tense, expressing the future tense, will pay. So, magbayad, nagbayad, nagbabayad, and magbabayad. Maraming salamat for staying with me until this part. As I have promised, I am going to give you 2 tips on how you can master your mag verbs. I have uploaded previously the lists of mag verbs and their different forms. Not only the different forms, but I have also pronounced them for you and used them in short phrases together with the time words like kahapon, bukas, mamaya. Please watch the video and listen to the pronunciation and familiarize yourself with the different forms of the mag verbs. It is a concrete application of the lesson that we had today. Now, second tip. When you're ready, you can answer an exercise. Take it as a self-assessment of how you have mastered the different forms of the mag verbs. I have the link in the description below. If you still struggle with those 2 tips, you can always put your questions in the comment section. Maraming salamat for watching. Until the next video.